bet this situation will sound familiar to pretty much everyone. So it's Christmas time or your birthday or whatever, and some kind of distant relative that doesn't know you very well decides to get you something, and by no means do they know what you're actually going to like, so they give you something pretty generic, and usually it's something you don't exactly really want. Is it really the thought that counts? Or more broadly, do we want to judge actions based on their effects, or do we want to judge actions based on their intended effect? In the end, I think that actions, in the extent to which they should be judged at all, should probably be judged more on their actual consequences than on what the person thought the consequences might be. I think the key here is distinguishing between judging the action and judging the person. There's probably some extent to which you can judge a person based on their actions, but I am rather uncomfortable with that idea. If you're going to learn anything from their actions, you should learn about them from the intended consequences of their actions. And probably you can learn a lot about them based on the differences between what their intended consequences were and what actually ended up happening. In the gift-giving example, I do in fact believe that it is the thought that counts. Just the idea that somebody that I don't know very well thinks about me and desires for me to be happy is nice. So note to people that don't know me very well, I like the thought that you are thinking about me. Yeah, I'm just always going to appreciate that. In the end, I think gifts are more often about communication between people than in receiving things. Certainly when I was little, I just liked to get things, and I wouldn't have thought it was the thought that counts. Because if I didn't get something that I was going to be able to use, it was just a wasted potential of a gift. Pretty selfish, but I think that's about how most young children view things like Christmas and their birthdays. But then if we are talking about judging actions, I think we should especially pay attention to the results of our own actions. As long as you understand that the actions that you take that produce bad results doesn't reflect upon you, it reflects upon the action that you're doing, you'll probably just notice that that action happened to be bad and you won't do it as much anymore. Of course, it's a lot more difficult to tell other people that their actions were bad. They are almost undoubtedly going to interpret it as you saying that they are bad, which, as I discussed, is so not actually the point at all, and I wish I knew a way to make that clear. I certainly understand it myself, so I can tell me that my actions were bad, and that doesn't affect anything to do with my self-esteem or whatever. And then when other people tell me that my actions were bad, sometimes it is them telling me that I am bad, and I don't feel like I need to listen to that. But sometimes they really are just telling me that the results of my actions hurt them, and I should listen to that, because it's important. So I guess in conclusion, the intended consequences are useful when thinking about other people and what they are trying to communicate and how best to communicate with them. And also don't judge people based on the actual results of their actions. As long as you're not doing any of that stuff, I really do think it's okay to judge an action based on its consequences. And furthermore, I think that if everybody had that attitude, we would probably see people doing better things. Okay, see you all later. That was close enough.